Okay, let's see who we're going to do next for July. Apologies on my nails. I got to get them done. Scorpio. It's time for your July read. We're going to use the Nicoletta Ceccoli deck for you. And I think I'm just going to do the past, present, future thing. I don't think I'm going to do like a different read until I get through all 12 signs. It's my vacation, staycation, if you will. Well, let's start with the magnetic poetry, see what messages we have for you there. Kind of need to mix these up a lot more. Getting under something and turning it over, you know. Do we have something jump? No, we didn't. At least I don't think we did. Okay. All right. For Scorpio, please check the description box for everything that you need to know. Music. Well, you know, I have a song stuck in my head right now. I have an earworm, Rush of Blood to the Head by Coldplay. So music came out first for you there. So I do have earworms. So now I feel it's incumbent upon me to share it. I want you to get a pen and a piece of paper, write these down, and you can make your own sentences with them. We have an initial, R. There aren't many initials in this package because it is about making complete words and sentences, so it's not like a set of tiles for Scrabble, but yeah. You get two ups, so up and up. You see that? You get two ups. So those are your words. You might want to jot them down. I'll give you a couple of minutes to do that, or a couple seconds to do that. You can also fast forward if you so feel inclined. Put that there. Okay, you should have gotten all of these by now. You can also hit the pause button if you need to. Okay, all right, Scorpio. Nicoletta Ceccoli deck. I'm going to do 6 to each line, past, present, future, followed by the Rebel deck Oracle and the I Am Power pack with some additional messages and advice. Take what resonates, leave what does not. I'm still in my pajamas. Again, you know, it's my vacation, so I can, because I'm not on camera, I have the luxury of being able to do housework, chill out a little bit, and then get myself situated for the day, and I don't have to worry about procrastinating on tarot. So, don't mind me. Ceccoli deck for you. I only take flippers and jumpers, maximum of 3 at a time. Twist for fairness for you. Some people are like, what's the point in doing this? Well, it's so that nobody can say, well, you didn't get reversals because of how you shuffle. Blah, 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 blah. That's a little much, but look at that. We have a Queen of Pentacles there to start. Sorry, that was a King of Pentacles. Anyway, let's keep going. In the past for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. And again, in the description box, you can find a really neat place that'll show you all of your placements. You do need to know the time you were born in order to accurately get your rising sign. Okay, so we have the 5 of Swords in the reverse with the 3 of Swords in the upright. Coming out of self-deception, there's something that you've realized about how you've been lying to yourself. And in so coming to that realization, there's a lot of heartbreak that's happened here. And you see the pin. Somebody feels pinned to their pain. or like pinned down and stuck in their pain in the recent past. Three of Swords, normally considered the most painful deck in the tarot. Three swords piercing heart oftentimes. Here it's just a butterfly who's pinned to the foam with that one little push pin. Painful nonetheless. Again, it seems as if there's somebody who in the recent past has come out of self-deception, understands now where they were lying to themselves about something and had to face the truth of, started shuffling backwards. How many do we have? 1, 2. Okay, I can't take that many. But where somebody has come to that realization of where they've been lying to themselves about something, and it's caused them great pain and agony and heartbreak. It's almost like they've taken off that blindfold and now they see where they chose to ignore something. Coming out of that self-deluded feeling, you know. And there's great pain associated with it. Tell me more. Oh, not this card moment, but this isn't. Okay, yeah. Had to drop a lot of responsibilities as a result. There might be this like feeling of giving up or needing to give up a bunch of stuff, or just by osmosis with this, you know, with the heartbreak comes the need to kind of drop a bunch of burden and responsibility. Kind of like throwing up one's hands and saying, you know what, I give up. You know? I found I was lying to myself, and, you know, now I'm facing this gigantic heartbreak. You know, what's the point of it all? That's the kind of feeling. It's kind of like resigning oneself to their pain in the moment here. Maybe taking a pause from responsibility, you know, to really navigate that. Who knows? Let me just make sure that you can see the cards. Good. Okay, great. And that we're also recording, hopefully. Okay. Again, awesome. Well, I think that it's good, though, that you're taking the time to heal this in the recent past, right? Because by resigning yourself to the fact that you need to let some things go and let some things fall by the wayside, drop some things off your plate, you know, at least you're taking the time to feel your way through the pain in that. Tell us more, Scorpio. Seems you don't really want to touch on it so much. Might be a little bit of an element of humiliation associated with that. Now with this, we have the High Priestess. It seems like you already knew. Like there was an intuitive feeling. Or there's something, you know, that you intuitively know is on the horizon, or a secret that's being kept from you, something that's kind of like lurking beneath the surface. But I feel like this is more about how you intuitively knew. You intuitively knew, but you chose to turn a blind eye to something, and now you're like, oh, damn. You know what I mean? It's like that feeling like, if I knew it, I chose to lie to myself, like it was a choice. And this Five of Swords kind of feels like it was a decision to no longer lie to oneself, to actually put, like the heartbreak was necessary. You know? You could see it coming a mile away. You intuitively knew it was a thing. You also understand that this is a part of the process. You know, the pain is a part of the process, and letting go of a bunch of stuff so that you can feel your way through it is a part of the healing process. And intuitively understand that there are things on the horizon that are coming up, or that there's a greater purpose to this. You know, not that you're obviously trying to get super philosophical about it, because it is something that sucks, you know, but You're getting a little bit philosophical, potentially even spiritual about it. Like there's a deeper meaning to it. And secretly, you know that. You've got a hunch that there's a greater purpose to the pain. A greater purpose to feeling the need to let go of a bunch of stuff so that you can make way for new. It's like a mysterious feeling that you have that there's something bigger and better on the horizon. I don't even know that this is heartbreak of a romantic sense just yet. This could be a work thing. I don't know why I'm getting that. But it almost seems like you've, you know, cleared your schedule or your agenda here. And you almost have like that fire in your belly, like you know something's cooking, you know. Tell me more. I don't know why I'm getting like this very quiet, ethereally calm sense right now. Like there's a gentleness that needs to happen in the past. Tell me more for Scorpio. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Okay, I can't take this many. What else? Scorpio in the past. Okay, that's what we got. Okay. So we have the Lovers in the reverse with the Page of Coins. There's like a peace offering or some sort of tangible communication or communication that you can take something away. Like there's a takeaway here in a communication coming in the that arrived in the recent past. It precipitated from a connection. You had a feeling about a connection or intuitively, secretly knew that, well, something else was falling apart over here. Something else was on the horizon that was of a different energy. This seems separate energy to this. I almost feel like you have something that's like a professional thing or a goal-oriented thing. Something that's more on the material side of things, tangible, like has to do with your time, has to do with your energy, or like something that you invest your time and your energy into that isn't necessarily emotional, but is emotional. You have an emotional connection to it, but it's not romantic. But then you have over here this sense that there are bigger, brighter things on the horizon for you, that there will be a bright day coming after all of this pain. Then we have this feeling as if there's a choice. And it's almost as if somebody is professing a choice to you. It's a small communication of some sort. It's almost like I'm seeing this as a consolation prize for the shit not working out. Like it's like because because something you've chosen to admit that something isn't working out, and it's heartbreaking for you because you've invested so much and you've carried so much weight and responsibility and burden that now you have to drop. Intuitively, you still know that something else is on the horizon that's going to make up for it. And the consolation prize comes here. With somebody professing that they've made a choice or a decision, and it involves wanting to spend time with you, wanting to... they're communicating your worth in some small way. Gemini energy on this, Pisces energy on this. But yeah, this is all past energy, you know. It's like something that didn't work out over here, and over here, the consolation prize. It's like, you know, keep your chin up, Scorpio. This is happening for you instead. And you intuitively knew that was going to be something that was going to at least pan out for you when all this other shit didn't. In the present for you, Scorpio. By the way, I mean, external things shouldn't be where you derive all of your joy from, but I don't need to tell you that. You should be able to derive joy from yourself. But in the present, what do we have for you? It's very graceful. Yes. It's graceful energy. Do you see how this butterfly is pinned over here, and then we have the butterflies over here? That's also something of significance with it. There's a transformation of energy. Like I was saying before, it's like this thing wasn't panning out over here, but on the contrary, you still have other things over here that in the recent past will be working out for you. You intuitively understand, and it's like it's almost like you feel like you're keeping a secret, or somebody's keeping a secret from you, and you got like a shy little smile. Like there's this bubbly little energy above the surface, some nervous, joyful energy. And it's transformative, where the energy over here that you were lying to yourself about, and it feels sad and it feels shitty. You're transforming yourself into something new over here, where you get to feel lighthearted and graceful, and then there's beauty in the air instead of this, like, you know, fucking climbing up that hill all the time, dragging your ass, dragging your wands behind you, on your back and all that stuff. You're dropping them because you know there's something lighter and more beautiful. You've got it happening in the past, in the present. In the present. So that one, Magician, almost flipped. Timing wise, I do my timings a little bit differently. If the reverse of a card comes out, look at the opposite on the zodiac wheel, right? So this could be Sagittarius season. Sagittarius season, in between Pisces and Sagittarius season. But I would say backwards, so like Aquarius, Capricorn season-ish. There's 4 cards, I can't take them. Like I said, no more than 3. Then that's not random anymore, that's just taking chunks of cards. I'm going to have to start pulling cards. I don't like to do that. I don't really feel like it's meant to be when that happens. Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. There's a feeling of self-betrayal also here. Sorry. It's almost like this person is coming after themselves with the knife. Sorry. You have to break your own heart on that one, it seems. Yeah, so there's a beginning here in the present. A small, little, I mean, you know, don't pay so much attention to these guys, little babies. A small little beginning of emotional fulfillment is happening here in the present. It's slight at first, and it's helping to affirm the positive aspects of the self. So it's giving you a little boost. It's giving, you know, some juice in the tank for you to go forward. At the same time, we see this Page of Cups in the reverse. So this validates your decision to kind of come to a realization about what was happening in the past with this painful stuff. The dropping of your burdens and maybe some responsibilities, but also that you were lying to yourself, fooling yourself about something. You make no apologies about that. But there's also a lack of emotional communications, a lack of small appreciative communications coming to you in the present. You still, because you have this validation in the Ace of Cups, and new emotional beginnings, and new friendships, something new that started off the heels of this up here. It's kind of like keeping you from really caring. You don't really give a shit that this all, I mean, you do, but it's like the absence of those small little sweet nothings from back here, or tearful goodbyes, or just making amends doesn't seem to be bothering you so much because of this. With that, we have the Hanged Man in the reverse. It's almost as if you gain perspective on what's important to leave behind and what's important to keep. Intuitively, you understand that this is one of the deeper mysteries, is that once you gain perspective, you can kind of see the forest for the trees, but you have to gain perspective first. Pisces energy again. You have 2 Pisces cards here. There's also a part of heartbreak that's necessary for you to gain perspective. In the present, you realize that all of this was necessary. You wouldn't have been able to see things the way you do now if this didn't happen. You understand this is one of the greater mysteries of life. Intuitively, you could see something coming. It's just more that you know better now with this Hanged Man card here. You can kind of, you've realized other people's points of view. Also because you've taken the time to consider what other people's perspective might be. You might have come upon something that was unspoken. That's a little bit of the realization of how you're lying to yourself over here. It might be a little hurtful, but nonetheless, it's still the considering other people's perspectives is a little hurtful, because you were kind of like deceiving yourself about something. But that people weren't necessarily telling you, they were kind of keeping it secret. But, I mean, with that, you can still unburden yourself once you recognize what that thing is, right? It'll be different for other people. Like every person, that whatever that realization is of what people kind of, it seems as if people didn't have the balls to say something to you. They kept it a secret. And it was once you flipped yourself on your head and actually saw how other people were considering the situation, you could realize you were lying to yourself about it. But the truth was pretty hurtful. So it was time to leave things behind. It was time to say, you know what, F it, right? You got a new thing going on, new friendships and new connections that are a fulfillment. And now you've got the realization. Now you considered all the perspectives, right? It's no longer the need to, this has happened, right? But the thing is that, you know, you deceived yourself. And people were keeping it secret. You kind of had a hint. You had an idea. So, okay, yeah, that deep personal truth. Hermit energy. The deep personal truth that we have to go inside to actually think about and know. Somebody might have had to go into a more esoteric mind frame to see it. And also, there could be a deeper realization about one's personal connections and the choices that they've made in their relationships as well. That those might not necessarily also be working out. This could be a secret, or this could be something that intuitively you also feel at this time. But somebody has taken the time to gain the perspective. This is Virgo energy, by the way. The counterpart, the divine counterpart of Pisces. So we have Pisces and we have Virgo. Pisces, Virgo, Pisces, Virgo. Then we have Gemini over here. But it's as if in the present also there's that emerging from the cave of self-discovery, having realized the deep personal truth that one normally wouldn't have the opportunity to confront themselves with because of the noise of the day and the light. And when you're in the cave, all you have is yourself and the darkness. So, you know, when you don't even have, when you're stuck on that desert island and you don't even have Wilson to talk to, you then have to start talking to yourself. You have to have some conversations with yourself. You have to go inward. You have to turn in. Then you have to turn into by the yes. I know what I know. But there could also, instead of getting super philosophical about it, you could be getting super spiritual about this as well. And kind of delving into not necessarily the dark arts, but something that's more on the hidden side that isn't necessarily seen by the naked eye. And it's helping to propel you into facing, recognizing, and expressing this deep personal truth that you normally, because you hadn't previously, you had been distracting yourself with a lot of responsibility and not necessarily considering the perspective of others. Now you have. You forced yourself into a place where you didn't have all the outer noise, all the outer distraction, all the outer responsibility. And now you're considering the opinions and perspectives of other people, the other people's viewpoints, you know. When, you know, in leadership, they talk about this often. When you are, you know, in the backyard, okay? When you're in the backyard, you have one view. You have the view of the backyard from the ground level. Once you get to the balcony view, you can see what people standing in the backyard can't see. Once you get to the rooftop view, you can see what even the people standing on the balcony can't see. And then once you get into the plane or the helicopter, you're seeing more than all three levels of those individuals. So as you zoom out, you get a bigger, grander picture and understand and have visibility into far more. So looking at it from this angle, we can see how this person has turned inward after doing this and doing this. And now they have a greater understanding because they've zoomed out after going in and looking at what other people are seeing and getting rid of a bunch of the external, like the dryer lint of the day. And now they can really see the true nuts and bolts of everything. What's really going on within themselves. What they need to improve. You have to really get confrontational with yourself. And it seems this is what's happening here. You're getting confrontational with yourself. You know, and it's odd because there seems to be this element of getting confrontational with oneself, but intuitively sensing there's a secret that has to do with your romantic connections as well, kind of coming over here onto this side. We'll see about this in a second. But I feel like this is kind of like an offshoot, like two separate things, right? I don't know. Let's see. Well, this isn't working out, so this is the thing that does work out, and you're secretly like, well, at least I have this. This is better now. This isn't, but this is. I can focus on this because this was shit, so I'm going to focus on this. And in the present, now you're like, yeah, this is great, so this shit doesn't matter so much. But now I'm starting to see other people's perspectives and starting to really consider them. Oh, crap, now there's this deep personal truth that I've realized as a result. Okay. Tell me more in the present for Scorpio, the Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. I hear it in my head real low. Turn into. I hear it in my head real low. Yeah. Okay, 8 of, yeah, there's a blocked communication with the connection here. Somebody isn't communicating what they intuitively know. They're not communicating something of worth and value that they should be. It's got to do with the deep personal truth and a choice in love. But the choice that they've already made, the choice that they want to make, or the choice that they have. I think it's more the choice that has been made. You know, in the upright, I would consider this to be having choices to make in love. And this is exercising the choice. This is about not communicating something. Eight of Wands is about fast moving forward motion, but it's also about swift communication of an idea, a goal, something that needs to be said. And this person here has a realization within themselves. This is not being communicated, even though it's intuitively, everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. It's almost like it's a secret, but it's not a secret. Everybody knows it. Nobody's communicating it. And there's something here that's tangible that needs to be communicated that somebody's not communicating. Tell me more. Oops, card vomit. Can't say why I kept this from ya. See that? Can't see why I kept this from ya. Turned into by the yeah. So I want you to listen to that. I don't know what the big deal is with that, but again with the card vomit. You got a lot to say on this that you're not saying, or somebody else does. Yeah, see, there's more. There's 3 here? No, there's more. There's like 5. You got a lot to say, or somebody has a lot to say that they're not saying. They feel like they can't say. How many is this? We'll take this one. There's too many. Okay, we'll take this one. Okay. Movement forward. Chariot card. Movement forward. Stagnancy. Not moving forward. Being stuck. This is also my change of address card, but not moving. Somebody feels like they can't move forward. They're stuck. This is like almost like not speaking, not communicating, and also no progress, no movement forward. Cancer energy. Opposite of that would be Capricorn season. Like somebody's like putting it off. They're putting off saying something until like late December, January. Could be. But about the choice. About somebody's worth or gracefulness. It's a communication that's blocked. Somebody feels like they can't say something because they can't move forward. The deep personal truth is they can't say something because they can't move forward. This is also no trip over water, no change of address, no forward momentum. They don't feel there's forward momentum. They can't communicate because there's no forward momentum. It doesn't go anywhere. Something doesn't go anywhere. See how this is even pointed backwards in this stance, in this position. Somebody can't communicate because something is not, something's stuck. They feel stuck. They can't communicate because they feel stuck. Or communication is at a stand. They're not communicating something. There's a choice not to communicate something because it's like suspended animation, you know? It's really difficult to describe it in any other way. Because they've reached a stalemate. They choose not to communicate because they've reached a stalemate. The choice has been made. The choice has been made. So they choose not to communicate. Okay, in the future for you, Scorpio. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. So they choose not to move forward. Or they won't move forward. Okay, Four of Pentacles in the upright. So there's a lot of saving, conserving energy, time, effort, money even that's going on here. In the future, it has to happen. There's like a necessity to do so. It's almost like somebody wants to do so in order to serve a connection, seems like here. Now, also to protect one's heart. There's also protecting one's heart by not spending too much time, energy, or effort on a connection in the future here. It's almost like a feeling of don't invest too much. Yeah, don't take too many risks because there hasn't been too much communication of appreciation. Not much in the way of like small emotional sweet nothings, etc., etc. It's just the beginning of things. Don't take too many risks. Protect your heart, protect your assets. You've gained perspective on things, so you know it's difficult. Not that it's difficult, but you know that right now, or at least in the future, it's best not to be adventurous and risk-taking when it comes to your time and energy and effort. This is a learned thing from up here. You gain perspective and know better now, right? Things are just starting out. So it's best to kind of conserve your efforts, to be reserved with what you're willing to give away, how much you're willing to put yourself out there. Oh, no. We had one fall on the floor. We had to take that one. Yeah. You're not feeling very creative either, though. Not feeling very connected with the earth. There's a need to connect with the earth here. That's not happening. Might be feeling like there's just too much of that going on. Like you need to get more fiery and passionate and less grounded. But there's a lack of creative thinking here. This is an Empress in the reverse. Taurus, Libra energy on this one. So we could be looking at Aries, Scorpio season. Scorpio season or Aries season. If we're looking at timing, same with this one. We could be looking at Libra season. So Libra to Scorpio cusp season. This is what this directly translates to if we're looking at, you know, the timings that the way I measure them. A feeling that you can't take any risks, and you can't take any risks because your feet don't feel firmly planted on the ground here. You feel that you're trying to consider the perspectives of others, but that's keeping you up in your head when you should have your feet on the ground. Your truth is kind of distracting you. Tell me more. What else? What else do we have for Scorpio in the future? Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Okay. Queen of Cups in the reverse. All right, so you're not feeling your intuition either. Yeah, this personal truth has got you knocked for a loop. Is same with this feeling of the other people's perspectives is keeping you distracted. You need to get your feet back on the ground. Because now you also feel like you're out of touch with your intuition. Cancerian energy on this. It's Capricorn season. In the reverse, Capricorn season. You don't feel the time is intuitively right. Because you know, this block communication, somebody not communicating something on purpose. They don't intuitively feel the time is right. They're not in touch with their intuition. Or they feel like they're holding back because it might not be a good time. They might be feeling a little too emotional. Not in a good way. Like this is like, you know, irrational, volatile emotion in the reverse. It can be an excess of emotion. It can be somebody who is in imbalance with their emotion versus their intuition. Or sorry, their emotion and intuition versus their intellect. So it could be somebody who's, you know, emotional to the point of volatility. You know, moody. You just feel like your sense of ability to protect your heart space from a sober-minded perspective potentially could be off, and so you're not willing to take any risks with your time, your money, your efforts, your passions, your desires, that go-get-it-ness. And you're not really feeling like emotionally safe to be creative. You need to get your feet back down on the ground. Tell me more. It's not the time to engage in creative risk-taking, you don't feel. But you're also feeling like your sense of emotional and intuitive, like your barometer for that stuff is totally off right now with that. So you're having a hard time communicating something, and you're holding off on communicating it on purpose. It's got to do with your personal truth, something you've realized about yourself. You feel like right now you should probably not communicate it. It's like best to hold off on all of it. It's not time to be the guy under the window with the boombox. Because you feel like the volume, or rather the intensity of your feeling could be that way right now. So you'd rather hold your cards close to your chest because you've just started something. You don't want to freak anybody out, or you don't want to take that passion and that fire in your belly that you have for something because you fooled yourself up here with something. So you don't want to fuck it up, for lack of a better term, because you completely blinded yourself to other people's perspectives on purpose before. And I don't know. I just read the cards. Tell me more. Lastly, for you, Scorpio, in the future. Devil. Okay, so Capricorn. This is Cancer, but in the reverse. If we're looking at time only, then it would be Capricorn. Now we do have Capricorn double card. You're having a very hard time. You're sitting on your hands, specifically sitting on your hands to communicate something when you've been imbibing. When you've been indulging, you find yourself in a space where you want to communicate something very badly. You could really be holding off on communicating to somebody else about their indulgences or the temptuousness of something, how it's keeping somebody, holding somebody back, or keeping somebody stagnant, or what you've learned about your own indulgences. But you're having a really tough time maintaining silence on something, an idea, a thought, an emotion, but you know that you have to right now, because this is kind of, you know, you got a devil on one shoulder and an angel on the other. I just heard. It's something that's kind of like a temptation. It's like you're holding back, even though you know something. What else? Lastly for you. Lastly for you. You know it's gonna, your mouth's gonna get you in trouble, Ashley Dawn. Oh yeah, your mouth's gonna get you in trouble. So you're trying not to do this because you know your mouth's gonna get you in trouble. You know that it might actually, there might be no point in saying something because you don't think it's gonna result in forward momentum. At least you know right now it won't. Tell me more. Lastly for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Oh, there we go. I love how all of a sudden you just started communicating super fast. Don't you love this card? It's very melancholy and the infinite sadness. Star in reverse. You can zoom in on things to see them if you want. Star in the reverse. You feel like there's no hope. The direct translation. You have very little faith in something, and it could also be that when you indulge, this could be a warning for you, that when you indulge, you kind of reverse your healing, but you also get to a headspace that makes you feel as if there is no hope or a lack of faith or a lack of point of having any faith in something. By the way, this is an Aquarius card. Capricorn, Aquarius. It's like, you know that when you get into that point of indulgence, that level of indulgence, whatever your poison of choice might be, that and there are many of them, you know. But you know that you get to a point where you get into a loss of faith and hope in stuff. When you can't look up at the stars and know that there's a greater purpose out there for everybody as a result of doing shit like that. I'm not trying to laugh. I take none of this lightly. But the need for faith is strong, and when you get here, you have to be able to have a respect for the things that you indulge in, to keep them on an even keel, lest you lose faith and hope in things. But also don't undo the level of healing and the work that you've done to restore a sense of mastery over your fate, because I think that, this is kind of like feeling like you're floating through the universe and there is no such thing as a greater purpose. And it's through indulging to the point of excess where that happens a lot. It's kind of like having hangxiety or hangxiety, or getting depressed when you've been, indulging, that we get to this point of hopelessness. Could also be that somebody indulges and they get depressed and they don't want to really share with anybody how stuck they feel or how hopeless they feel, or that they've lost faith in something that once they had the innocence of, and that there was once beauty and transformation and something of worth that they had chosen, but now they feel stuck. And that there's no path forward for them, that they can't see the stars on the horizon. Something about the personal truth. that kind of lurks there, that they don't want to communicate. Somebody doesn't want to communicate. And if they do communicate it, they don't want to do it when they've been indulging. That could be, like, it could be you. Like, I'm not saying, when I say they, it's because I'm reading and it's not me. So I say they, and then I'm probably talking about you. But anyway, that's what I've got for you on that. Let's get some oracle before we peace out. We got the Rebel deck first, and then we'll do an I Am Power Pack card. So let's see what no bullshit advice the Rebel deck has for you. Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Well, we had one fall out before I could even finish. It's almost like they know what you need to hear. What is it? That little voice inside you, listen to that shit. You got a feeling you just can't shake. Wow. It's almost just like that. Okay, well, I guess we'll just take that. And then our I Am Power Pack affirmation that we're going to give you for July to keep you propelled towards your goals, success, keep some wind beneath your wings, some gas in the tank. Let's see what we got for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Give us an affirmation they can use, they can hang on to. Put on a post-it note and put it on your dashboard. I am powerful. There you go. That's what I've got for you, Scorpio. Thanks for watching and for being patient while I talk through your tarot today. We'll see you when we see you next time. Okay. All right. Bye.